I'm Chris Simuro. I'm the CEO and president of BoMax Hydrogen, and this is Dr. Debbie Maxwell, the inventor of the technology that we want to share with you guys today. All right? So today, everybody knows that about 90–95% of the world's hydrogen comes from SMR, right? The remaining 5 or 10% comes from electrolysis. Everybody knows SMR has a very large carbon footprint, and it's an inefficient way to produce hydrogen, but it's cheap at this point. Electrolysis is a better option, but electrolysis has been around for hundreds of years. So the level of innovation, the amount of incremental change that can happen with electrolysis is small year to year. What we're here to do today is to tell you that there is a brand new technology that we are bringing to the world, right? We are able to make hydrogen, green hydrogen, just using light. It is a true sunlight to gas technology. We're not creating electricity. We're not splitting water with electrolysis. We are truly having light bounce off our catalyst. Our catalyst is simply made up of a common soil enzyme found in the ground. We put that in an aqueous solution with a chaperone protein and nanoparticles. And if we hit this solution with any form of visible light, LEDs, halogen, sunlight, the reaction is it kicks off the electron off the face of the nanoparticle, which kicks off a set of stable catalytic reactions, right? The ultimate endpoint is that green, pure hydrogen is generated, right? So people ask us all the time, what are the advantages that our technology has versus some of the existing technologies? So as we've mentioned before, we're already light activated. Our system makes hydrogen on site, on demand at the point of use. So there you no longer have to transport it, you don't have to liquefy it, you don't have to put large infrastructure with pipelines. You simply are able to put our BoMax solution on site and generate all the hydrogen you need at the point of time of need. Our technology works at ambient temperature and pressure, so there are no safety concerns or limited safety concerns. We use no rare earth minerals in our technology. All of the components are inexpensive. The three largest main components are the enzymes, the nanoparticles, and the NAFY protein, which is a chaperone protein. We manufacture all these in-house. So we no longer have to battle what I'm sure you guys do too on the supply chain challenges. But more importantly, this is going to significantly allow us to start dropping the cost to produce the hydrogen we generate. And the technology is totally scalable. Whether you need 10 kilograms, 100, or 1,000 kilograms per day, the science and technology is 100% scalable. As part of the process, as we prepared for a Series A investment round that we're going to go through here in the next few weeks, we've had the tech validated. So we've brought independent third-party experts, specialists in the electrobiochemistry world, who have come in to our lab, evaluated our science, gone through our procedures, our methodology, our results, and issued clean opinions that the science is solid. But more importantly, they've also issued an opinion that there are no known scientific impediments to scaling our technology. Okay? One of the interesting things we learned in working with Dr. Seifel and Dr. Harris is that one of their big focuses of research for the last 10 plus years has been the development of renewable electron sourcing, right? Today, our technology will go 5 days making hydrogen without touching it. It will peacefully stop making hydrogen in 5 days. The reason why is it runs out of electrons. When that electron is kicked off the face of the nanoparticle and it kicks off the gear, we have to replace that electron, right? So when we put electrons back into the solution, the technology comes back to life and produces at the same level it did initially. What these folks have done is that with people who are doing catalytic reactions, they're able to inject a small electrode into the solution and put a millivolt of electricity into our solution. That will produce millions, if not billions, of electrons. If this technology, when we marry them together, which is what we're doing right now, works, our duration is going to go from 90 days, 180 days, 360 days, maybe 2 years, that a simple batch of this material will continually make hydrogen. Okay? People ask us about optimization achievements. So for the first several years, our lab was at the Space Life Sciences building at Kennedy Space Center. Space Florida was a tremendous partner for us, and it allowed us to leverage their team, their capabilities and equipment, but it also allowed our team to achieve some amazing results on optimization. And optimization to us means 3 things. 1, it's the duration of the reaction, how long it will last. 2 is the rate, like how much hydrogen per day will the solution produce. And then 3 is how much does it cost to produce the catalyst itself. As I mentioned before, we've actually been able to extend the reaction out to 75 days with a single batch. Honestly, we've done some on-off testing where we black out light for a while, then put it in front of a light, black out light, put it in front of it. We've gone out to 180 days, and there's no degradation of the catalyst at all. The technology, as long as we keep it in solution and we keep it sourced with electrons, it just keeps producing hydrogen, right? So the exciting thing is we don't know what the endpoint is, but we're fairly confident here in the next 12 months we'll be at 90 days on duration. The team has been able to increase the rate of production of hydrogen over 3,000x in the lab, right? And we've only scratched the surface on some of the ideas we have on increasing the rate. One of those is in particular is that the amount of catalysts in solution, if we put 100 catalysts in the solution and we produce 100 kilograms, if we increase the concentration to 200 catalysts, we make 200 kilograms. So we're just now starting to play with concentration. And then as I mentioned before, the last one is the cost. How much does it cost to produce a batch of the material? We just approached some low-hanging fruit here in the last, let's say, 90 days or so, and we've been able to reduce the cost 60% just in the last 90 days on some low-hanging fruit. And I'll show you some cost pathways and cost roadmaps that'll show you where we think we'll be going forward. Right? So here it is. So there's a lot of information on this chart, right? As I mentioned before, cost is a function of how much it is to make the catalyst, how many kilograms of hydrogen per day we make, and how long will that reaction last. So the column on the left is the cost target, the cost to produce the batch. The second column is the efficiency. How many kilograms per day can we produce in our solution? And then the remaining columns to the right are the duration factors. So let me give you an example. So if we're in tier cost target 1, and we're able to produce 120 kilograms per mole per day, which we're approaching 100 kilograms per mole per day, so we're not far from the 120, and that reaction will last 90 days, is $28 a kilogram. That honestly is not going to excite a lot of people, right? The reason why we shade in yellow is if we get into the yellow in the next year or two, that's going to be a progress that people are going to start believing in the technology. But we know long-term for commercial viability, we've got to be in the green categories. So if in year 2, we're able to get to still in the same cost target, but now we're able to go from 120 to 200 kilograms a day, and at 90-day duration, now we're down to 1688 a kilogram. Year 3, if we can get same cost target, same 200 kilogram rate, but now we're able to extend the duration to 180 days, now we're down to 844. Now we're starting to get people interested in the technology, right? If we keep going down with this path, we get to cost target 2, still at the 200 kilograms a day, still at the 180 days. Now we're at 566 a kilogram. As we work through this, ultimately, we show a pathway how to get down to underneath $1 per kilogram for the cost to make this catalyst. So we know that in general, we need to be moving towards the bottom right corner, right? We also realize that all 3 variables may not work together, right? We might gain 2 steps forward and 1 back with one of the variables, but we know that we need to move towards this green, right? One of the reasons why this show is really special to us was we were up here sharing this presentation. Right before we got up here, we won the Hydrogen Innovation Award from the Department of Energy, right? One of the main reasons was this cost chart, right? We also have an alpha prototype, which I'll show you here in a second, that's actually at our booth. So the combination of actually building a prototype, showing the technology working, and showing this roadmap was what propelled us to win that award, okay? The other question we get a lot is comparing us with electrolysis. Everybody asks us whether we're splitting water, right? So today, from a net energy equation, to go from sunlight to powering a forklift or a heister, it's 6 steps. It's solar panel to create electricity, back to electrolysis, to hydrogen gas, to fuel cell, back to electricity, right? In our world, with our beta prototype, which I'm going to share with you the concept, right? In a direct sunlight model, sunlight's going to hit our panel filled with catalyst and immediately make hydrogen gas. We're not making electricity, so we don't need to be tied to the grid. We have absolutely no carbon footprint to kick off this reaction. So what takes them 6 steps only takes us 4. So intuitively, as long as we optimize the technology, we will always be an more energy efficient solution, okay? The other question we get is, if we do an apples to apples comparison, if we take a 1 square meter solar panel that is powering electrolysis versus a 1 square meter BoMax panel, how much hydrogen can you produce? Today, the most efficient PV electrolysis solution can produce 38 liters of hydrogen per hour. In 6 months, we believe we're going to be at 50, and a year from now, we think we're going to be 100 liters per hour. So given the same geographic footprint, the same amount of 1 square meter, we will be 2x in terms of the level of production hydrogen that we can make. From a geographic footprint, For you to make 1 kilogram of hydrogen using solar panels, you need 40 square meters of solar panels. In 6 months, we think we're going to be at 32 panels. In a year from now, we're going to be 8 to 10 panels. We believe we're going to be a 4 or 5x smaller geographic footprint versus electrolysis. The other really cool thing is, for PV electrolysis to work efficiently or optimally, it's got to be a sunny day. For us, our technology works just as well on a cloudy day as it does a sunny day. So on a sunny day, you may have 130,000 lux of light. On a cloudy day, you may have 30,000 lux. Our technology from 10 to 20, 30,000 lux will work just the same as it does at 130,000. So we're going to have many more days where we're going to be able to use our technology to produce needed hydrogen on site. All right? This is an actual picture of the alpha prototype, right? So for several years, I would go out and talk to folks and share them this technology. And what I continually got was, this is amazing. This could totally disrupt the market. But show me, come see me when you can show me it works. Well, we were optimizing for a long time. So 2 years ago, we made the decision to go ahead and build a proof of concept. So what you're looking at here, I'm going to walk over here, is a blue LED light. Inside here is a glass panel. That blue LED light is kicking off the start of that catalytic reaction. Then we're simply just capturing the hydrogen in the bell tower, compressing it. Ultimately, what we were doing is putting this hydrogen into a little hydride container, connecting that to a fuel cell, and then we could fly a little drone around the room, electric train. We were showing that we could make the hydrogen right here in this room, turn it immediately into electricity, and power your energy need, right? So this is the alpha, and it is at our booth. If you'd like to come see it, we love showcasing this. But now, the next 12 months is going to be focused on the beta, okay? And the beta is going to be a true sunlight to gas technology. So our catalyst, when we mix all these ingredients together, it's orange, right? So we're going to have a bunch of glass panels, and we're going to orientate them on the roof, on the ground, on the side of a building, anywhere where the light will hit it, and it will kick off that true light to gas technology. The plan is that we will have the beta design finalized. We're waiting on that renewable electron research we talked about, because if that works, then we'll just have small inputs on each side of these panels where we're going to drop a little millivolt of electricity in there every day, and that will repopulate all those electrons we need to keep the reaction going in perpetuity, hopefully. So beta design in first quarter. We will hope to have it fabricated and assembled later in the first quarter, and then for the rest of the year, we're just going to test and evaluate it, right? As we tell a lot of people, we use the analogy of a photocopier, right? That there's a big piece of hardware and then there's toner, right? Where we see this for us is that we want to be the toner manufacturers. We don't necessarily want to make the whole hardware, right? So we have partners in Japan and around the world who are already starting to tell us, don't do any more prototyping, stop the engineering. You just keep focusing on the optimization. We're going to develop our own engineered solution when we go to market with this. We don't see ourselves going to market and touching the end customer. We see ourselves partnering with large global entities who are able to actually scale up and do this, right? Because the amount of bandwidth and resources this will take to go globally is an insane number, right? So we realize we're going to need help and partners as we go about it, which is one of the reasons why we're here, right? This is one of the reasons why we like going to the World Hydrogen Summit as well as here, is to let people first know we exist, right? That there is a brand new technology out there that can really change things up. The second thing is that we really want to build relationships. We know we need partnerships to get this across the line. That could be technical. We've already met some folks here today who might have a bolt-on technology where we take something that they're doing, marry it with our technology, and 2 + 2 = 10, all right? The second thing is we're trying to find end user or distribution partners. We call these strategic partners, right? These are folks that not only have capital, but they have a potential end use for the technology, and or they would like to be the go-to-market strategy partner with us. Whether that's we do that by line of business, whether we do that by geography, we're very open to that at this point. And then right now, in about 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to kick off a Series A capital round. We're going to try to raise about $15 million. The funds from that will finish up the beta. It will allow us to scale up the operations about 10x from where we're at today. And that really is related to developing and manufacturing the catalyst itself, right? And then also just to continually work on partnership development, right? So today, again, what we just wanted to give you was just a glimpse that there's somebody else out there, right? If you have interest, we're definitely going to answer any Q&A, but we're definitely going to have time at our booth, which is at B06. You can actually see the alpha unit, how it works. You can also see just a small mock-up of how we envision the beta prototype to work as well. All right? Okay. With that, I'm done. Anybody have any questions? All right.
Do you guys have thought to the life cycle of the catalyst? So I imagine you're probably already getting questions from people that are like, oh, solar panels have 25-year lifespans, but here you're giving us, 2 years. Like, do you have a sense for what it's going to be like to draw down your catalyst, recover, recycle, what have
Yes,
you,
it's a good
and
question.
redeliver that?
We do. We get the question on recyclability all the time. So there's only one element in here that we have to recycle, and it's the cadmium. It's the nanoparticle, right? All the other elements are environmentally safe. There's no issues, right? But we're able to recycle that and repurpose that and put that back in play. That is the plan. From a life cycle or useful life, right, I'm going to split the world into the toner and the photocopier, right? We don't envision ourselves being the hardware engineered solution. People are already working on that today. I do think that they're looking at a 10 or 20 year useful life and what they're thinking about. But for us, it's how long will that catalytic reaction keep producing? So if we're able to go from 90 days to 180 days, that takes, if the cost was $10 a kilogram at 90 days and we go to 180, now we're down to 5. It's a true one-to-one relationship about the life cycle of the catalyst. But what I can tell you is that as long as we've kept the catalyst in solution and sourced, it has never degraded, right? So this technology has the potential from duration to go a very long time, right?
So once the catalyst is done producing and you can't produce any more hydrogen, is it a simple just refurbish, replace it, pull it out, put new in, or do you just, is there an additive that you put back in?
What we are envisioning, right, and this is what we're going to be working through on the beta, is almost like a cartridge. You're going to pop the cartridge in the glass vial, it's going to produce, you're going to pop that cartridge out, put a new cartridge in, send us the old one, or to our partners that will be able to repurpose, recycle, and then we'll go from there. So it truly is a plug-and-play solution as we contemplate right now.
So a simple maintenance activity every 2 years, hopefully.
Yeah.
Thanks, great presentation, by the way. Where is the hydrogen coming from? I might have missed it, but what is the feedstock of the hydrogen that you're obviously catalyzing it to release the hydrogen, but is that flowing into the system?
Thank you for asking us. I get to get Dr. Maxwell. This is the lady who invented this technology, okay? She's the most humble lady in the world, okay? And she's going to be very nervous that I'm putting her on the spot like this, but I'll let her explain that to you.
So it comes from water, and it's the auto-ionization of the water. So you get the protons, the hydrogen ions, but then you get the hydroxide. So in the beta, we'll most likely have to add a weak acid, and we've already worked with some acetic acid. So there will, long term, we'll have to add a small amount of water comparatively, and then also add some acid.
Good. Any other questions? All right. Okay.
It's kind of almost maybe cliche, but what gave you this inspiration?
Well, I was working on my PhD, and I was working in a biochemistry lab, and then that was my assignment, to try to make hydrogen. So
If I could add to that story.
Oh, okay.
So she had a career, raised a family, and decided she wanted to go back to school later in life to teach chemistry. And in that process of earning her PhD, she discovered this.
yeah, so.
It's a very cool story. It's a very cool
Yeah.
story.
But I'm a person of faith, so I believe the Creator gave it to me. So.
Anybody else? Well, thank you very much. Again,
Oh, thank
if you have any other thing you want to see the unit, B6 is where we're at, all right? Thank you.